Hello YouTube, I hope you're all doing well. As you can see, she is fast asleep next to me here, but she is actually doing so much better, and I just realised I forgot to track something. Let me do that quickly. What I just did was write down how much Diarrhelite I gave her through her Mickey button. She's not been on the IV fluid since early this morning. Her potassium levels were getting a little high, which is something that can happen when you're on IV for a bit. And so they turned it off, and we obviously need to make sure that her fluid stays up. So now I'm trying to give her fluid through her Mickey button, and just gotta hope that it all stays in. But I think it will. I think she's at a point now where she's just going to improve the longer this goes on. So where are we? It is, I believe it's Sunday. I believe it's Sunday. Time loses all kind of concepts. Yes, so Friday morning is when I took her into hospital, and I stayed here till I took her in around 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, and Dad released me at 4 in the afternoon. So then I didn't see her for 24 hours. I released Dad at 4 in the afternoon yesterday, and now I'm doing 24 hours in hospital. So during the time that I was in, I've already told you about in the last vlog, and then Dad was in, and it was kind of, yeah, it was more of the same. So she was fitting a lot and she was sleeping, and she was fitting a lot and she was sleeping, and she was still vomiting, but she was getting better, and it was kind of a slow but in the right direction. So when I came in, she was still fitting a lot, but something quite interesting happened yesterday early evening, and that is that the day nurse, she came in and talked to me, and she said, I look at her and she looks asleep. There's no movement, there are no tremors, there's no cycling, there's no chewing, there is nothing. I look at her, I can't see a seizure. I look up at the monitor and I am convinced she is fitting, because those numbers that we see up there, they're not normal. And I'm like, yeah. She said, all of the doctors are waiting to see an actual tonic-clonic. It's like, well, they can wait. They can wait. So she wrote this down and she took it up with the doctors, and she basically said, you can't see her seizures. And I think this was a really good observation from her. I mean, I've said this, but I don't think I've really thought about it in that respect, because I can actually feel, like I feel how she's trembling, or I look at her and I can see she's fitting, because I know the minute little changes in her. But an outside observer wouldn't know that. But her basically saying she has no outward sign of fitting, but the monitors tell me she is, that gives me something to put in her hospital care plan for her seizures, that I think will help us in the future. So I'm starting to make a few notes now, what I'm going to talk to the epilepsy nurses about, hopefully tomorrow, and we can get something really good put in place. She only had the one dose of phenytoin, and she only had the one dose of midazolam in hospital. And since then, we have managed her on her Keppra and her Elin, as well as clobazam. So clobazam is Elin's first step rescue medicine. So we're giving that now as part of this, as part of this treatment plan. But she hasn't actually had anything stronger. Eventually, she settled down yesterday, and she had an amazing night. She had such a good night's sleep that the monitors kept beeping because her heart rate was too calm. She slept. Funnily enough, I actually slept reasonably well too, despite the monitor going beep, 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 at me every minute, because she was in such deep sleep. And also despite the fact that there was a nurse in the room giving her medicines and doing blood gases and this, that and the other a million times. When the nurse came in yesterday and she told me the medicine protocol overnight, and she was like, all right, so we're going to give this at 9 o'clock, and then we're going to give this at 10 o'clock, and then we're going to give this at 11, and then this at 1, and then this at 4. And I just looked at her and she went, go to bed and get some sleep now while you can. It's like, yeah, I'm going. I'm going. But even with all of that stuff going on overnight, Elin didn't wake up. And then early this morning, they came and moved us out of the high dependency unit. So this was when she was off the IV and she'd had that settled night, and we could see on the monitor that she was no longer fitting uncontrollably. And they would probably have kept Elin in there for longer, but they had another child coming in who needed the HDU more. And we know now from experience, the nurses and I, that when Elin is at this level that she'd reached by this morning, she's only going to get better. So we don't need that constant monitoring anymore. We don't need that high alert and, you know, always a nurse available for her. We can start to relax quite a lot. So we are now in a bay with multiple beds. So if you hear the noise around us, I do apologize. And hospitals had a crazy morning today. They had a lot of admissions, so we didn't get to see the doctors until very, very recently. So it was about 12:30 we saw the doctors. And this is where medical mama strikes again. Hi doctor, this is my plan. My plan is we start giving her fluids through the Mickey button very, very slowly. How do you feel about me giving her half her maintenance, so 30 mils an hour to begin with? See how she copes. If she's coping with that, I'll bring it up to maintenance and then we'll take things from there. They just nodded and went, your plan sounds good, we'll go with that. So this is the benefit from having done this so many times, is I know what works, I know how to treat her. And when I simply tell the doctors what works and how to treat her, at least in these kinds of phases, you know, where we're getting her back to normal, then they just do what I say. What I need is doctors to do what I say when I say you need to give her this medicine now, and not debate me. So she's having a little bit of a seizure now. I'm seeing little twitches, but that's the first seizure I'm seeing in a few hours. And she's, I don't know if she wants to wake up and go back to sleep. Let me show her. Hi. I'm gonna say hi YouTube. Hi YouTube. Have we got energy to open our eyes? No. I think she's still asleep and she's just fitting in her sleep, to be honest. What is it? 1:15. I need to give her a little bit more water. I'm supposed to give her 5 mils every 10 minutes right now. That's half her maintenance. It's not water, it's Diarrhea. As for going forwards, we are definitely going to be in for another night. They're not going to stress us out. I don't want to stress her home. And I'm still hoping that they're going to let us do my idea of chicken broth, and then vegetables in chicken broth, and then moving on to her blended diet when at some point tomorrow. I don't want to stress her stomach today. Her gut shuts down when she's like this, so she's not had, oh, I'm going to go into TMI territory, I'm so sorry, but she's not had a bowel movement for a few days, but she did have one this morning, and that's a very, very good sign that things are starting to work again. And again, also means that she's on the right track for recovery. As I said, I have ideas for what I want to talk to the epilepsy nurses about, so I'm hoping I'm going to get a chance to talk to them tomorrow. I'm going to find out if at least one of them is in tomorrow, and maybe even see if I could get an in-person. I mean, tomorrow during the day will be Dad who's here, because he's swapping with me at 4 o'clock this afternoon. But I shall see if we can find a way around it. Something, I don't know. And yeah, I am actually quite enjoying being here. I can't go anywhere, I can't do anything, so I'm watching some TV and I'm chilling out, and I'm doing some drawing and journaling, and it's, in many ways, it's actually quite meditative. It's nice. So this is what I'm going to keep doing now. Make sure my little girl is improving at a good pace. And I will update you again with how she's getting on. So all the best everybody. See you soon. Bye.